Hi, this is Natalie Rydstrom, and today I've actually invited sports writer and bettor here, Martin Green, to the show. And we're basically breaking down sort of the main bet types. Some of our viewers have been asking us which ones is which one is better to do. To be honest, they are all different, and they've all got their sort of like their pluses and their minuses. We're now moving on to hedging, which is probably the one that I know least about. So I'm actually quite happy to have you on board here, Martin, to sort of run through. And I've actually got your article right in front of me, and you've written quite a lot on hedging your bets. So do start.
Yeah, it is quite a lengthy tome. I wouldn't say I got carried away, but there is so much to say, and it really is a fascinating subject. And there can be a lot at stake because it's you can win or lose a lot of money on these type of things. But hedging your bets is basically taking out an insurance policy. You're kind of mitigating the risk of you losing. The easiest way to explain anything like this is to give you an example. So hedging your bets would be, say there's a horse race and there's 7 different horses, and you think one particular horse is going to win, but you're not too sure, and you have a slight inkling that it could be a couple of others have got a chance. So perhaps you'd stake €10 on the horse that you really fancy to win, but because you're not absolutely confident, you might stick maybe €2 on another horse that's a bit more of a long shot, and €2 or €3 on a third horse. That way you're spreading your bet across a few different options, so that if your main bet, the €10 that you've got on the horse that you really fancy, loses, you have that insurance policy that one of the other ones might come in, and then you still either do make a tiny profit or you break even. So when we're talking about football betting, that basically comes down to a straight bet. You might have you would have 3 different outcomes if you're betting on the outright win, lose or draw. So say Barcelona are playing Real Sociedad, but Barcelona have been in particular poor form. They've had a long distance to travel, and they're a bit tired, and you really don't think they're going to win this one. You think it could be Real Sociedad. So there are quite high odds on Real Sociedad to win, something like 6-1, because it's rare that Sociedad would beat Barcelona. So you'd stick your main €10 on the 6-1 for Real Sociedad, but then you think there's a slight chance that there might be a draw, so you'd maybe stick a couple of euros on the draw as well, just to mitigate the fact that if Barcelona did manage to sneak a draw in that game, you won't have lost all the money that you staked on the Real Sociedad win. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, and it's a sort of, is it a way of sort of protecting the money that you're betting, and at least sort of like ensuring that maybe some of the money that you've put on the table actually comes back?
Yeah, very much so, very much so. And there are various different ways of hedging your bets, and you can spread your bets around quite a lot, and bookmakers themselves do it. So if a bookmaker in that instance took a lot of money on Sociedad to win, they would offset that by betting with another bookmaker so that their odds are mitigated. So you can basically become acting like a bookmaker yourself. Or there are other ways in which you can do it. So say first goal scorer betting. You think Barcelona have got 3 really good attackers, Messi, Neymar and Suarez. You think one of them's going to score first, but you can't be quite sure which one. Each one has a different set of odds attached to him. So Messi might be 2-1, Suarez might be 3-1, and Neymar might be 4-1. So all you need to do is work out how much you need to stake on all 3 of them, so that either way, you either win something or you don't lose overall, as long as one of the 3 of them scores. Or you can just spread your bet over a few different correct scores. Say you think both teams are going to score, but Real Sociedad are going to win either 2-1 or 3-1. You can spread your bets over it a bit, and you choose your main bet. So you think it's more likely to be 3-1, so you might stake €10 on the 3-1, but stick a couple of euros on 2-1 and even 1-1, so that if that does come in, you either still make a little profit or you don't lose out overall. It's basically just an insurance policy, and it's definitely worth considering, especially for the more cautious gamblers among us. And it kind of gives you a bit more of an interest in the match. It kind of gives you a few more different things to root for. So a lot of people favour this type of betting.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think it's, say, more for the like more experienced bettor than it is, say, for someone starting out?
Possibly, yeah. I don't think I would say though that it's nothing to be intimidated by. It's nothing too complicated. It might be for the more experienced bettor, but it's just like betting on your first horse race. If you fancy a few different horses out of a field of, say, 7 or 8, you might just put a bet on a few of them. Where it does get a bit more complicated is when you really get into the mathematics of it all, and you work out the various different permutations of. You've got a little pots of money on all the different stakes. You need to get your calculator out, but then. Yeah, I think anyone that's got an interest in maths and equations and statistics, that's a really good bet for. You don't need to be an experienced gambler. You just need to have a bit of a head for mathematics, I would say.
Yeah. All right, great stuff. Listen, Martin, you explained it very well.
Okay.
For those watching, if you do want to read about it in more depth, the link is in the description below this video, or simply submit us some questions below, and either myself or probably Martin will answer those, because he knows still a little bit more than I do.
Certainly. More than happy to. More than happy to.
Fantastic stuff. Fantastic. Martin, thanks for joining us.